Choose wisely.
Holy Grail Toys is the ultimate destination for rare action figures, exclusive merch, and collector-grade drops. And now, taking pre-orders for the Bandito 112 scale action vehicle from Odd Frog Entertainment, releasing in 2026.
You have chosen wisely.
HolyGrailToys.com.
The Sarlacc Digest, the long-running live stream podcast digesting Star Wars topics for over 1,000 years. Join them for all the latest news, rumors, and theory crafting with none of the drama or the bull. Live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on YouTube. And don't forget the Sarlacc Toy Chest, covering all the newest Star Wars toy releases and news from Hasbro, Hot Toys, Jakks Pacific, and more. Live every other Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Be there and keep it nerdy.
PlasticNews.com. All the latest from Hollywood. Toys. Gaming. Comics. And anything pop culture. PlasticNews.com. Don't forget the IQ. PlasticNews.com.
Good evening, ghouls and skeletons. That is right. Tonight, we're digging up the best horror film franchises that made you sleep with the lights on. We're talking about all the blood-soaked classics, the cult indie nightmares. What does the crew have in store for you? Plus, we're going to talk about the creepiest, coolest, downright weirdest horror figures that are in the market today, because what is scarier than a plastic Chucky doll looking at you from across the room? So grab your candy, lock the doors, get ready to dive in. This is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink.
What's your favorite scary movie?
You guys are looking sexy, you got to be honest with you. Franken-Maddox and Dr. Mummy.
Well, yeah, when you
to
cover
say.
up, like 97% of yourself, you look great.
Mr. Storm's in the back digging up some graves. So he might make an appearance. He may not. We shall see. But welcome again. This is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. And, well, if you haven't gotten the message by now, this is a Halloween type of special because it is October 3rd. And why not celebrate Halloween like many weeks early? I mean, Halloween decor was in all the stores back in June.
It was, and I feel like you, sir, as one of our resident hosts here, have come up with the name for this month.
It is Scaretober. What does that mean? What does that mean? Let's talk about what that means. Oh,
Duh.
geez. I wish this was like 3D or smell. Well, maybe not so much smell-o-vision, because depending on what you eat on a Friday night, it could scare away the audience. But we're going to talk about the best horror film franchises of all time. Plus, again, to recap, we're going to talk about all the horror figures, horror comic books. It's all going to be very spooky. And we plan on continuing that throughout the month of October in theme. That is what is going to happen on this channel from Toy Box Chronicles. That is on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time, right here on the Shadow Nose Network, as well as PPI, and a variety of other special features on the channel. We will definitely embed the Scaretober theme. So hopefully you all Halloween fans, if this is the first time you're tuning in, well, I want you all to click the follow, subscribe, all that stuff. Commander Bly horror figures, maybe. I mean, maybe. That could be interesting. Who has the most horror figures? You never know. It could be a
Well,
fun surprise.
I mean, I got Elvira with me right here.
Hey, come on. We might want her as a guest. We don't mean that. Well, maybe we do. Well, should we jump into it, gentlemen? What do you think?
I think it is time to get scary with it.
Yeah, it's time to get scary. So stay tuned. Obviously, Good Morning Toy Box is another feature. We are hyped. We are fresh off of LA Comic Con weekend. I'm excited. Toy Box Chronicles. If you missed it last Wednesday, the Rise of Nexus, the new Kickstarter campaign, the Support Indie Toy Makers toy series. That was great. Chat, that was awesome to bring another creator. The 3.5, man, that is just blowing up again.
It's the 3.5 crew, man. And look, you know us, like, look, we're we as a collective, some of us collect more than others. And as a collective, the thing that we love to spend the money on are toys that are impactful. And look, Carlos is nailing it with that line. And it's good to bring on that, because hopefully it inspires people to bring an idea to life, which I think is why we have as a collective channel we have all decided that it is important to bring these out. But I think Rise of Nexus, man, I think they're doing really good. I think it's right up there. It's like the classic version of O-ring figures, and Deadly over at Deadly Dioramas has seen them. I've seen them. They're great figures. Funny story. There was one that I don't know if I could talk about, but it was a very clever way to do an O-ring figure, and it was from Carlos. And I was like, all right, I would buy that, like even more so than the Nexus figures. And it was a Nexus figure, and I was like, all right, that is awesome. So yeah, man, look, it was great to have it. And if somebody watching this has a toy line, and you're interested in it, or you have a Kickstarter coming up, like, let us know. Jump on. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And I have to say, for all these years, your G.I. Joe figures have been lonely. They haven't had any friends. They haven't had any new friends to play with. And now you've got all these different lines. Rise of Nexus, we had the Grindhouse toys, which I actually bought their line. So
speaking of horror films, right? The Grindhouse toys. I'm excited for Chris and his wave coming out next year. Well, look, Halloween has become the biggest holiday, surpassing Christmas in terms of money spent, and Spirit Halloweens are popping everywhere.
That can't be. There's no way Halloween is getting more money than Christmas.
You better believe it. You check the stats, Dr. Brantley. It is blowing up. You got to remember, Halloween, the amount of money that is spent. I mean, you just go to Home Depot. People are buying $900 large skeletons to put in their backyard, which
unreal,
is wild.
Unreal.
It's crazy.
I have a friend who bought a like, you know, those separate, like, you can build them sheds from Home Depot. They bought one of those so they could store that stupid skeleton and the rest of their Halloween decorations in it.
It's wild. It's wild. And then you think about costumes
Okay.
and all the Spirit Halloweens that are going into the Rite Aid stores now because they've gone out of business, but it's a
Rite Aid and
big
Walgreens, yeah.
business. So we're going to talk about top horror film franchises, figures, collectibles, and comics. So let's jump right in to the top horror film franchises film series. So we're not talking about the one-offs. I think to qualify, you needed to have a few in the franchise. And look, there's a variety of different ones. Commander Bly, how about the life-size Star Wars characters at Home Depot? I saw the Chewie with the Christmas hat on, and the thing's like 9 feet tall, and it was like $300. I'm like, it can't, or 400. It's like crazy
And
cheap.
it can double as a Sasquatch for
Yeah.
horror times, whatever.
It's nuts. Spirit is like next level now. I remember like 15 years ago, you go into Spirit and it was just like plain costumes. And you go in there and they've got like a full like haunted maze in
Well,
the
and
store.
we talked about on like Alex and I talked about this on Toy Box Chronicles. I think it might have been like just over a month ago. But like season director said, I went into Spirit yesterday and man, they were selling everything. They're also working on their own line of action figures, and they're working with some intense product developers. So it's not like they're just like they're going for it all, man. It's crazy.
I just
And
want the collectible figure of the store worker that says, sorry, you can't open that. That's the one I want on a card back.
I have to say one of my favorite things on Instagram is to see the like little girl that is pretending to be one of the little pop-up things, and the people step on it and she chases after them through the store, scaring people. There's got to be a lawsuit at some point because some of these people are falling down and over things, but whatever, it's funny.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Well, here we are. We've got a variety of different options here. And, I know, Dr. Brantley, you're a big fan of the Poltergeist original movie. We've got Halloween.
yeah.
They've made 900 Halloweens, which is pretty crazy. The Exorcist is here. They've just redone that franchise. We're going to get into other franchises here, but your thoughts on these three initially in the scare realm. These are considered some of the classics.
Exorcist is like one of the original, like, okay, this is the scariest thing that anyone has ever seen. And to this day, that is true for some people. It was a subject matter that wasn't talked about at the time, dealt in a way that, was very realistic at the time. So, that is one of the scariest ones, although it immediately went off the rails. If you've ever seen Exorcist II: The Heretic, James Earl Jones unfortunately makes an appearance, as well as Richard Burton. Great actors, and they did a terrible, terrible movie. Directed by John Borman, who's also a great director, did Excalibur.
Yeah, The Exorcist goes down, I think, usually as one of the scariest films. I think, people were just frightened out of their mind walking out of movie theaters nationwide.
Getting sick.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's because it's scary, but it's also has to deal with the religious pieces here and exorcism. Like it's just super creepy, and obviously Linda Blair did an amazing job just as just this demented, possessed girl. Just an amazing performance. It is scary, but definitely not for me. One of my favorites. I think Solo, the film itself, but anything past it is kind of right. And you don't go into Spirit and people are like, I want to be the girl from
It's like, well, yeah, can you make my head spin around? Because if you
Yeah.
can't do that, then it's not worth
I don't
it
want to
getting
be
a
part of it.
costume.
Yeah.
We have a chat over on Twitch. Welcome in. It says, "Is Silent Night, Deadly Night part of Halloween horror or Christmas?" Where would you put
Yes,
that?
both. It's
Both
a
of them?
Christmas movie and it's a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And if you're a horror fan, it's every month of the year you watch it.
Sure.
Um, I think Chet, your thoughts here, Poltergeist, the Halloween franchise. I mean, they keep pumping out Michael Myers movies.
Look,
Like,
Yeah,
oh, look at that, the old
I've got,
VHS.
I've loved this movie. Saw it in a theater when it originally came out, 1982. So I was 10 years old. My parents took me and my sister, who was like a year and a half younger than me, to see this in a theater. It was great. It's a great movie, but it was scary. It's still scary to this day if you haven't seen it. The other movies are not so good. The remake is complete trash, but this one is good.
Yeah, why is
yeah,
there a clown on the cover of the remake?
because
Like,
because the Terrifier. Each one of these movies, and I literally mean each one holds a special place in hell. As trash movies outside of the first one, I actually um I actually enjoy watching these movies. The first Exorcist by far is awesome. Um, Poltergeist is something that is like crazy fun for me to watch. I think it's just like I remember being very scared as a child. And then Halloween's, I'm gonna be honest with you, I love all the Halloweens because it's just like at some point in time, it's like, man, this is like watching Halloweens is like reading those romance novels that had Fabio on the front. That's all. That's
Yeah.
all this is. So
All
man,
you need is dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
and then he comes into frame with the knife, and yeah, okay.
so
Doesn't
you
matter.
liked Rob Zombie's Halloween?
yeah, it was trash to watch. It was fun to watch.
Let's not go too far.
Yeah. See, Caesar Drake says, I'm not too much into horror, but what do you like the most about this genre?
Watch Poltergeist if you have not watched the original Poltergeist, because it's just a good movie. And it also happens to be scary at certain points, but it's just a very well done movie, produced by Steven Spielberg, directed by the guy that did Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I like, Halloween, the first one, defined the slasher genre and created and inspired a multitude of different slasher films to follow. The music, Dr. Brantley, as you said, ding, ding, is like the most
Mhm.
iconic horror soundtrack of all
And
time.
the first one is not bloody. It
No, that's what I'm
is,
saying. A
yeah,
slasher film, like it's supposed to be,
mhm.
you kind of know, but you don't see. It's not like
It's
Terrifier where we see the
no,
gore. It's actually
but it
scary.
is scary.
Yes.
There's some, still to this day, some great scares in it that you can't do with all the fancy CGI and whatever. There's just some basic things that you can do with a camera and lighting and the way you cut things together. And John Carpenter did it fantastic that
Oh
first
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the simplicity of the costume, which is like you didn't need it to be over the top to be scary. Who would have
Yeah.
thought basically a mechanic's one piece and a mask that
William
was a William
Shatner.
Shatner like mask. Who would have thought it would be the creepiest of all time? So who would
Yeah.
look, Shatner
Scarier than
inspired
Darth Vader, Star
look,
Trek.
Shatner's mask inspired a genre of slasher film, so he inspired more than Star Trek. Yeah, that is an interesting fact for sure. Is the little girl who played in Poltergeist?
Well,
Was she
no,
sick or before?
no. See, Dominic Dunn was the older sister,
But
and
the
she
other
was
little
like
girl died too,
murdered by,
right?
yeah. Well, that's why
Yep.
there's like sort of a curse
Oof.
around the movie, because then the younger girl also died a couple years later, and it was
yeah.
just like some internal like bowel obstruction or something. That
Mhm.
was just an undiagnosed thing that happened.
Yeah, it's crazy. I wonder, like, as a young kid and you're in these films, like if somehow you're impacted, right? Like you made this, like I don't know, there's got to be something to it at a young age. You know, you're acting, but you're a star of this creepy
Well,
film.
and also you don't know, especially back then, the stuff that you're exposed to on a film set. Like the smoke was not exactly like OSHA approved smoke.
Yeah.
They were doing what looked best for camera.
Yep, 70s, early 80s, forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on to the next series of franchises outside of these. And we have, of course, Friday the 13th, Mr. Voorhees himself, Freddy Krueger, one of my favorites of all time, The Nightmare on Elm Street, and then the little doll named Chucky, which is weird because all of these characters are still very much relevant. And it's evident by going into, again, Spirit Halloween and seeing costumes and masks of all these characters.
Although Freddy is the only one you can't duplicate. Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger. They tried to redo it. It
terrible.
did not work at
so
all.
Bad. It's so bad. It is
and-
Robert Englund. It's like Tony Stark and Iron Man. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's like, you know, like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Anything after that, it's going to be not great. Robert Englund's the character. Let's be honest.
Like it would take like essentially like a Ryan Reynolds or somebody like out of the box that has their own personality.
Yep.
To be able to work through the makeup and to have that dark sense of humor and also be menacing. You know, it's tricky to pull off, and Robert Englund did it. At first, the very first movie, it's very scary. The second one, it went even a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
Then it started lightening
Dream
up.
Warriors, like
yeah,
yeah.
Started doing a little bit more comedy, and then essentially after that, it was a comedy horror series.
Yeah, for sure. I spot on. I think Nightmare on Elm Street, the last few were not great, but the first two, and even like through the 4 or 5, they were entertaining. Again, like Freddy Krueger being at the personality behind these films. Friday the 13th, again, another one of those like slasher films, scare the hell out of everyone doing sleepaway camp, just like Jaws scared everyone out of the water. And the first and second one are really good. The first one's really good, which Voorhees is not in. Chucky,
he's a little bit.
Chucky, I was never into Chucky. I thought it was such a goofy premise. Like it was, to me, it was comedy. Day one, right?
Although I have to say that the first season of the TV show was fantastic. I was blown away by it. Where I was not expecting it because the movies are kind of the trashy, silly thing, but they actually did something with the show that was very well done because they had the time to actually create characters and have arcs and do things that you don't get to.
Well, Marcelo's old school. He's going with Jason. And then AJ said in Freddy's Dead, the video game scene was kind of funny because of the sound effects. I 1000 agree with this comment, and I know Meeks would as well. And then, Commander Bly's at it, living on Lake Erie, and his cousin never swam in the lake after seeing Jaws.
Spielberg scared the shit out of everyone. Like, let's be honest. And guess what? Psycho, a lot of people thought twice about showering and sleepaway camps, these films. And then
let me
go ahead.
Look at you said Psycho. I got to be honest with you. Psycho is the very first slasher horror film I can remember seeing as a 4-year-old. My babysitter was watching it, and I was sitting. I just wouldn't go to sleep, and my parents got so mad, and I remember being like, I'm not taking a shower. I'm not going anywhere in that shit. And to think that was all done with like Hershey syrup is wild. But that was the first.
Anthony Perkins he played a creep. Like that's why that was scary.
They didn't all the remakes they tried to do, like Motel, whatever that show was called. I'm like, look, you're not gonna beat that guy. Like
Yeah.
that guy was wild. But I was gonna say on the Chucky front, I remember because I was young, like I can't remember how old I was when it came out, but I do remember that like I think Chucky came out right after they launched My Buddy,
It
right?
was very
That's it.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like really close. And I remember that year, I got My Buddy for Christmas,
Oh, that's
and
terrible.
then I realized what Chucky was, and I was like, yeah, I'm like my mom would tell you, I would throw My Buddy in my closet and put everything I could up against the door, and then it's just like, man, who does that? Like who just who thinks that up? But it was funny.
I remember when I was a kid, I really wanted the Freddy Krueger hand. That was like the thing I wanted to do when I was super young. I wanted to wear that at school. Super creepy. I just love that these icons are still around, man. Like, they're still very relevant. We're gonna talk about the toys. I'm a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I think just Wes Craven, such a legend. I think the problem with Friday the 13th is like, how many directors have they had at the helm? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no one that's really synonymous with that franchise. And same with
Yeah,
Child's Play. But with Nightmare on Elm Street, there's been some interchange, but Wes Craven has really been the guy behind this. So I kind of like that
Well,
he's owning
with
it.
Child's Play, it's the guy that created it is the guy that did the TV show, and he wrote most of them.
That's probably why it's good. Because
So
like
yeah, exactly.
the
It's
first one was
consistent.
good. Like it was just cheesy, but it was like it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not great. I mean, because I was like, look, if you can't outrun a 2-foot doll, and like you could easily kick it, you can do all sorts of things. Maybe shut the door. I don't know. I was never like too afraid that this could happen to me. Jaws, that could happen to me. The Exorcist, that could happen to me, but
yeah.
not Chucky.
Yeah.
Mark,
How is Jason Voorhees so fast? You notice
I don't
that?
know.
He's fast when you're not looking.
Yeah,
He's very slow when you're watching him, and then he runs when you're not looking
Yeah.
at him.
It's they even play on that in the video game, where you're Jason. You have a part where if you're not in view of anybody, you can run really fast, and then when they see you,
There you go.
when they see you, you walk really slow. But I think that's why that's my favorite too. Like with Marcelo, is that he said what I really like about Jason was no talking, just killing, and taking some time off from buying his yachts. Mr. Alexander Thunderous Storm would agree with Marcelo.
Mm. Well, we've got another series of films in franchises, and that is you got the Conjuring Universe series, which is relatively new, but you got all those like sprinkled in the Annabelle doll, the Conjuring, the creepy stuff there, the Nun, and then he's the hottest horror icon right now, and that is Art the Clown and Terrifier, and talk about gore-filled, bloody-soaked films. But you go everywhere; his face is everywhere. So. Damien Leone is making a lot of money with this character. So what are your thoughts on these franchises?
He's America's it girl. It's Art the Clown.
I don't get it.
I'll be honest with you. I think the Conjuring is creepy, but I have yet to watch the Terrifier. So
I was thinking about it this morning for this discussion, and I was like, you know what? It's 7 a.m. is a little too much to be. I don't think I'm going to do this right now.
I mean, look, it's like about. I will describe them. It is if you really love over the top gore combined with
Puppet Master is the evil action figures, I believe, is what he's thinking of.
Oh yes, yep, Puppet Master.
Yeah.
But if you like over the top, a little humorous, a little gore, when you think they can't get any more crazier with death or torture, here it is. So if you're kind of a psycho in that way and you want to like close your eyes 100 times, it's the movie for you. But it's it's not
Yeah.
scary. It's not scary.
No, I was there with Mr. Storm for the first Conjuring viewing for both of us. You know, you'd think it would be a lot scarier in a theater. No, in a house with access and dark hallways and stuff. No, that is a very, very scary movie to watch. And
what GZDR said in Twitch. I was about to say Team America for evil action figures.
They're pretty damn
like,
evil.
I was like, all right, that's pretty good. I was gonna say the same thing. So.
They made a few Puppet Masters, I think, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
There's
Didn't they make a Pinocchio horror film? Did that come out yet?
Yeah.
They made a creepier one with what's his name that directed Hellboy?
How has Dr. Brantley not watched that yet? He's usually on the assignment of like those.
Pinocchio is not my thing.
Well, like a horror one that's probably really bad. You usually sign up for the really terrible.
Well, look, after
films.
Robo Vampire, I started to rethink some of my decisions.
Yes. Well, I mean, we've left off a couple of the franchises, but obviously here are the ones that are the largest. So let's go around of the ones that we said. Which is your favorite? What would you rank the best franchise? And someone said Evil Dead in the chat. Evil Dead 2. I don't know if we can count that. There was, I know. Then Army of Darkness. Could you say 3? I guess you could, right?
I think you could.
They have a TV show.
Yeah. What are your
remakes.
thoughts? Yeah.
Look, because of the first movie, it's still Poltergeist. I think it holds up to the day. But the others don't. If you want to look at longevity and stuff, it's probably like a Chucky or a Friday the 13th or a Halloween, which have had sequels of varying degrees, but they are fairly consistent as a horror thing. If you just want a scary man murdering people, you get a lot of that.
We're going to probably take a lot of shit in the chat, especially maybe on the replay crew, because we didn't put Scream franchise in this mix, Wes Craven's Scream. So we left that off the list. Paranormal Activity. Saw was not on here either. They made 150 Saws. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we've look.
Yeah, there's
horror fanatics.
Also, we do have some stuff. We got like 3 other episodes we have to do this month. So, we have to save some stuff.
So calm down. There may be a battle of
Part
movies
2
on the last part of this month. Look, out of the
Scream is slop. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, very good. Look, at the end of the day, the ones that we've put on the screen so far,
they're classy.
They're all really good, but I think my favorite so far that we have on the screen of just like fun to watch, holds up, could be made if that person was that character again, would be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I second that.
I think Nightmare on Elm Street, like, if you want to have the effect of what a good horror movie should do, Nightmare on Elm Street, have a kid watch that. Because the kid will never want to go to sleep again. And
won't be my kid. Because I want to sleep at night.
That first one.
So when I come over and I babysit your daughter,
don't let her watch Psycho. You SOB. All right.
I will tell her that movie doesn't even exist. Alexander said we couldn't just put it all in one episode.
We got a full month. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
We got a variety of different things horror related, but I just wanted to call out. I know people are going, what about this or what about that? I agree. Nightmare on Elm Street. And it's because of Robert Englund and Wes Craven.
Mm-hmm. And Hostel, you are right. Saw that in a theater not knowing what it was, because I liked Cabin Fever, Eli Roth. Oh, it's his new horror movie. Let's go see it. Oh, he is not prepared for that.
Well, can I tell you a story? Here's a story. So when that movie came out, at the time, I was working at a movie theater, and and it was the Friday night opening of Hostel. I'd seen it before screenings. I was based in LA, and Eli Roth shows up, right? And he's like, "Hey, can I just get a sneak peek of like what's going on?" So his film is playing, and it's probably like 10 o'clock show. So I'm like, "Yep, come on this way." And so like he's in the dark, and he kind of peeks in, and he sees the sellout crowd, and then he comes out, and we're literally chatting for like 2 minutes. I don't even remember the conversation. All of a sudden, somebody comes running out of the theater towards the restroom. They stop and they vomit on the ground, like literally 5 feet in front of us. And then they run to the bathroom. And he looks at me and he goes, "Awesome." He goes, "Awesome." He's like, "That's what I want." That like he loved. It'll just forever. I'll remember that scene. He was so excited that people were just like vomiting, and like he's crazy.
I will say, and Hostel 2 had the worst scene out of all of them. If you've seen it, you probably know, and if you are a man, you probably remember. Anyway,
yeah, it's crazy. So I think we say Nightmare on Elm Street for sure. Before we go into the action figures, again, we appreciate you all hanging out in the chat. Thank you so much. If you're watching this on the replay crew or just tuning in for this time, please subscribe, like, follow. It only helps the channel grow. We are on our way to 3K. And again, this is the horror month, Scaretober. More to come. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. So let's talk about some horror action figures, because there's definitely a hell a lot of toys, memorabilia, human centipede. Yeah. But I mean, let's talk about first and foremost. I think from the very early stages of NECA to now the recent, there's no question they have been one of the most dominant forces in the world of horror and classic monster memorabilia. Here you could see on the screen, you got Frankenstein, you got Dracula. They
good.
have been producing a variety of different figures here. So before we get into others, NECA, right? The kind of the king of horror at this moment. They've done such a great job. I mean, just on screen here, you could see I've got some of the old kind of classic style. They do such a great job. If you're like an inbox collector, you put them on a shelf like an old VHS, and then here you go. Here, they've done a fantastic job. But Chet, Dr. Brantley, NECA, horror, are they the masters?
I love their boxes. Like you said, they do the box fantastic. Now, these are very good figures. And I was going to say, like, oh no, these are probably the tops, until I saw the two slides that are coming up next. And I was like, oh, wait, these get better. These are kind of trash compared to what's coming up. I mean, these look pretty good, but not as good as what's coming up, especially looking at Jason. Check out Jason. You'll see him a little later.
Yeah. Alex in the chat, love NECA, but they could do better with figures. Hey,
See?
100%. I do think, and again, I think if you're an inbox collector, like I am mostly, I love the packaging they put in. I love they've done Freddy video game figures. They've done all the horror classics. They do such a great job with that. They make some of them look like old VHS or movie posters, but the actual figures themselves, well, it depends, but they have been a bit inconsistent. Chet, what are your thoughts on NECA? You collect a lot of the TMT MT stuff. How do you feel on the horror side?
I think it's one of the few that they do that you get the sense that they actually put the time and effort into the packaging. Now, NECA historically does have good packaging, but I think the monster lines and the horror lines, like you just showed, Creature of the Black Lagoon, I mean, it's a fantastic box. And I think if you were gonna, like you said, like that's one that those are meant to be on the shelf above like the VHS tapes,
Yeah.
like at like the right, you got the VHS tape, the figure, the VHS tape, the figure. I think that's really cool. I'm a little bummed out that I feel like I'm a little bit bummed out that the figures aren't that good, but that doesn't mean that they're not good, you know. So I look, and they were one of the first ones to do a lot of these IPs, and I think that they've done pretty well.
And they're
Yep.
mid-priced. It's like 35 to $50. Is the mean for these. And I will say, last year I bought 2 of their blind boxes, a sci-fi one and a horror one. And as a reseller, I sold all of those fairly quickly. They went through. I got a very random selection of stuff, and but all of it sold.
Yep.
So they're doing something right.
Yeah. I think again, the key is the IPs too, because they literally have most of the IPs as it pertains to some of the legends here that we've talked about. With other figures, that we're gonna get into, well, here you go, and you've got Mezco. That for those of you who are not familiar with Mezco, definitely a lot more high-end figures, 112 scale, super articulate, cloth goods, you name it. I mean, here I'll show you a few. I mean, as a Nightmare on Elm Street fan, I've got the Freddy Krueger, and then he comes with, I mean, if you just look at here, you've got all the head sculpts there. You've got the different hands. You got the cloth good sweaters. The same thing with Jason Voorhees. You've got the different map. This is like the ultimate horror figure for posability, for toy photography. I know Studio FX chat, like that's the type of figure you're going to shoot with. Mezco is just top notch. The problem with Mezco though is they just don't have as many. Like I
Right,
think they
right, yeah.
haven't done, like NECA, they got everything. They've got various versions. Like they've only made one Freddy Krueger, and it got released sometime long time ago. And it's like maybe we want it on a new body or new. Like I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if they've lost the IP. I don't. That's the only issue with Mezco. But look at these new figures that have
Well,
come out.
but compared, like the soft goods, right? Compared to what we just saw, these, if you zoom in and look at any of this stuff, it looks like it could be a frame from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It is well done. And as we'll see a little bit later with some McFarlane stuff, you can really cheap out on the soft goods and the sewing and how all of the stuff looks. This is like, I'm looking at the It figure. That looks like it could be straight out of the movie. And I don't see anything that would, stop me from saying like, oh, that's a little toy.
Yep. Mezco's king in a lot of different areas. I think they're one of the best, but I
Not
mean the
at
Bloods.
pre-orders.
Not at pre-orders, which we may talk about in just a bit here. The blood-soaked Art the Clown is pretty insane there. Pretty creepy for sure. Definitely at your grandma's action figure. That is for sure. Well, any other thoughts here on the action figures here?
Well, yeah, and would any of these other ones, right? Would NECA have the blood stains so nicely done on Art the Clown? I mean, somebody,
No.
there's somebody in a factory somewhere that has to go like, yeah, this has to look like a lot of blood's going down.
Yeah, no, it's you're not going to get the
Nice.
level of cloth goods, that's for sure.
And
And then
and then
well,
see, and this is why I was like, oh, all that other stuff is trash, because that Jason and maybe it's the lighting, I don't know. And that Freddy Krueger also, besides the face sculpt, is not so great. But
Yeah.
other than that, everything else is fantastic.
Well, this is just 1/6 scale, so they have more room to like make the details set. Look, I collect a good amount of 1/6 scale. These are just epic, not very posable, but in terms of like statuesque one shot, to your point, look at Voorhees. He's ready to kill.
That's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, right?
No, that's Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right.
Eli Roth.
Just would like to point out that those are basically the same movie.
Which Mr. Storm and I went and saw Grindhouse, the whole 3.5 hour thing at the Chinese theater on opening day. We were like, oh, right, let's take off work. We're going to go. It was like 3 p.m. And yeah, we were one of about, maybe there were 10 other people in the entire theater. I was like, oh, this is not going to go well for, Miramax and Quentin Tarantino. But it was actually one of the best theatrical experiences I've had. But yeah, Thanksgiving was a hilarious fake trailer bit that it only took them about 10 years later to make a feature of it.
Yeah, look, sideshow, you're talking about $300-$400 a pop here, but if you can do it, they're definitely going to be great.
No one's going to buy a Thanksgiving figure for $300.
No, nobody bought that Thanksgiving
except
figure.
Eli Roth himself,
possibly. But
and the guy that
and maybe even then he got it for free. So I don't think.
Here's a question: is the 1/12 scale, is the 1/6 scale Chucky really a 1/12 scale? The more you know. Okay, moving on.
That, my friend, is 1,000% probably true. And I'm mad
now. Again, for those of you still tuning in for the very first time, this is Pixels, Plastic, and Ink. We run every Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We also have Toy Box Chronicles, that's more centered around toys and collectibles. That is on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. So if you haven't watched any of those, please hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment in the chat. Also, we were at LA Comic Con last weekend. We have a series of different videos posted, some interviews, some live coverage. If you haven't had an opportunity or you didn't attend and you want to get a little bit of insight into that, go back. It's on the channel and watch that. So again, we appreciate you all. Hit us on Instagram, on X, the Discord. We got it all. We appreciate you tuning in. So I think we're going to continue the horror themes.
Well, we had the pixels, we had the plastic,
and now
we got the ink.
The ink, man, cool covers. I love these covers. Are such wall decorative pieces, especially the first 3. Amazing art. Like I would want that blown up in poster style. Tales from the Crypt is literally one of the first, right? Like I think and still holds up, and obviously transitioned into a famous HBO series back in the late 80s, early 90s. Creepshow the same. And then you got the legendary Dracula, and obviously Walking Dead. I know we're a big fan of Kirkman on the show. But gentlemen, top horror comics, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I am calling an audible on this one because if you see my background, the House of Mystery from DC Comics. This is something that was like, I've got a couple of them. Neil Adams did a lot of covers. This is where Bernie Wrightson got his very first professional job doing comics, was horror stuff. I've got some Bernie Wrightson. Sergio Aragonés did some stuff. And it's really cool. I was doing some research, right? So House of Mystery and the House of Secrets are 2 DC books, but they are 2 separate houses that happen to be on the same plot of a graveyard. The House of Mystery is where Cain lives. The House of Secrets is where Abel lives. And also during Crisis on Infinite Earths, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, took over the House of Mystery, and she
I
was
would
in
like to do
charge.
an important update here. Alexander Storm has unfriended Dr. Bradley.
Yeah.
This is some breaking news, and the
How
crowd.
dare you? But Elvira took over the House of Mystery during the crisis, So I will say that is my particular favorite out of these, but I know Mr. Storm would be the Tomb of Dracula, where Blade got his start. Dracula can suck it. Blade is where the Tomb of Dracula really shines.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't necessarily put it into horror, but The Walking Dead, the original, several issues and ones that became the early seasons. It wasn't like completely true to the comics. Were really great. I'll be honest. I know it's like they're on their like 29th season, and they beat a dead horse. But I remember at Comic-Con, it was the biggest thing. And people were so excited, and it really sparked the zombie genre, especially in comic books. And we followed along with TV series and films. It was crazy. But I don't know if that's horror. I agree with Mr. Storm. I think Tomb of Dracula, Marvel Comics, some really great issues, introduction to Blade. Dracula is the all-time classic, man. He's the guy, like him and Frankenstein's monster.
Not if you've seen Blade 3. That
best
Dracula was the worst ever.
Nobody has seen Blade 3.
That's like the best
I saw
Blade.
that in the theater, man.
Triple H was in that film. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, and he was outacted by a poodle. Okay,
Ryan Reynolds, Triple H. I mean, just shenanigans.
Jessica Biel,
Wesley Snipes was like, I don't want to be in it. You could just tell. Like, he's like, I don't. When is this? Can I shoot my scenes and go home? It was garbage.
Is it a close up? Then I ain't showing up.
All I can tell you about Walking Dead is that this year at San Diego Comic-Con, there was a guy who didn't get harassed because I couldn't find him. However, for like 10 years straight, I harassed him about buying that Walking Dead issue 1. And there was one point in time where he would have gotten like $7,000 from me for it. But now, like, he'll get like $30 if I find him again. Yeah. So just as a heads up, Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of probably good horror books and graphic novels. And I think IDW had a really great run of horror comics. Who was the artist or maybe the writer who did Criminal Macabre? And was it Steve? Do you remember him?
Steve Niles.
Steve Niles. He was like a new gen version of like writing a lot of the horror stuff. Is he still around? I don't know. I'm not really as deep into comics anymore, but he was doing some of that stuff too. I remember.
I'm sure he's still doing comics.
Gotta be. Yeah, gotta be. Well,
and 30 Days of Night and
30 Days of Night. Yeah.
Yeah.
That film could have been better. Well, it is now time for, one of the most PPI favorite subjects, and it is around action figures. And well, let's jump right into it.
What is it?
What do you mean? What is it?
I don't know. What is it? Is it the
Leave the McFarlane. Take the mezcal.
Are we supposed to have some kind of like disclaimer on that? Like,
I keep supposing to change it, but at this point,
we're never getting them on.
I'm just gonna sorry, McFarlane.
Well,
you've made enough trash, and this week is going to prove it that I'm not going to bother changing it.
Could we say leave the McFarlane? Like, who would we replace leave the McFarlane with? Should we like leave the
Super 7.
Funko?
7.
Oh,
Well,
Super 7.
Funko.
No,
Funko doesn't even deserve it.
reaction. Leave the reaction figure. Because no one's gonna fucking take those. Hey everyone. Anyways, if you haven't been here before, this is one of our favorite episodes, and you might be wondering what Pre-Order Mafia was. However, it's pretty clear here on this page, and we're gonna go on this for a minute. But we have a rating system that we rate all of the figures that are coming out, have come out, or going to be coming out, or all of that things. But mostly it's that are going to be coming out because it's Pre-Order Mafia, and that is, it's a made figure. This means that we like it, you should like it. We pre-ordered it, you should pre-order it. And if you don't, you're probably making the wrong decision, and everyone's entitled to their own wrong decisions, and that's fine. Number 2 we have is the forget about it, which is we all enjoy the figure. We think they're great. However, there's just not, it's not for us. Like, we wouldn't pre-order it, but it's something where if you pre-ordered it, we'd be like, yeah, it's fine. Makes sense. Then you have the needs to sleep with the fishes, which means basically what it sounds like. Why did they make that figure? And it could, we don't really need it. And then every now and then there is a hidden tier, either on the upper echelon or the lower echelon, and that you get to find out live because we don't know until we get into it.
And we may be hitting that later on.
And this one here, the Mezco Red Hood.
Was this a Target exclusive, by the way? It might as well be.
This one, I number one was gonna see if one of you that's down there right now, because I can't do it, could order this if it goes up. But then I found out that this Red Hood figure, while we make fun of McFarlane does make one of my favorite action figures, and it is Red Hood. And it is a very good articulated, a very good action figure. And then Mezco dropped this, and when they dropped this on the first, I was trying to get this in my cart and purchase it for about 4 hours, and I couldn't do it. And then finally, when they fixed their website, it says join the waitlist. This figure, however, in my opinion, at $116 is very much so a made figure. I mean, it comes with the classic Mezco like posability. It's mixed between soft goods, like hard goods. You 2-head sculpt, a bunch of different hands, weapons, their stand. Like, I mean, this is just, I don't know. What, Rad, I know you're a Mezco dude. Like, what do you think about this figure?
Man, this is gonna get. Resellers are gonna ask $400 for this figure.
Yeah,
guaranteed. It's Red Hood is a very popular figure. Any figure with like this type of weapons in the DC universe, multi-head sculpts or helmets, if you will, and it's just a cool ass figure. It's the reason why you got a guy now in the first minute to get him. Something was wrong with their website. They're probably going to have a few at New York Comic Con. So if you're going to New York and you can get your hands on one of these, it's going to be worth a lot. But it's a made figure for me, man. Like, it just looks awesome.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic. Nothing else to say about it. Definitely made figure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, good.
And then there's this.
The hell is this, man? I'm a Legends guy, but I didn't get this one. I didn't get this one.
Yeah. This is. I saw this and I was like, I'm not really sure.
Like, still available.
I feel like. Yeah, it is what it is. This is one of those ones I think deserves the hidden. I feel like this one deserves the hidden.
So they just released a 2-pack for the Game Reverse Marvel Legends, and it's Omega Red and it's Iron Man or War Machine.
Yeah,
that is currently on clearance in Walmart. It just came out. And you think about Omega Red and War Machine, pretty popular, relatively well known. Maybe not so much Omega. How long do you think this is going to be available until this is clearance marked down online or at retailers.
Well, look, you're going to be able to find this along with Wakanda Forever, the Eternals.
Eternals.
I think you're going to find this at Ross shelves everywhere in a couple of months.
Yep, it looks like Mr. Storm has bought an army of these figures for Chet Maddox. So you're building a Star Fox army, which is great.
Yeah, this is his way of getting me back for me getting him those G.I. Joe figures that he actually wanted.
Yeah, this is no thank you.
These are burnt sauce stuck to the bottom of the pot. And that
Yeah,
is
no,
that,
nobody-
I don't know. I
wants to-
might actually pay for some burnt sauce because not this.
yeah, and I'd like to say that the Red Hood got one of the hidden ones, which was the mob boss, and that is the upper echelon of positives. And this one happens to get the cinder block anchor bricks, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even float.
Yeah, this one's in the back of a 1968 Pontiac, just sitting in an abandoned parking lot. This
Melt
Forget
it
about
down, sell it for scraps.
Yeah, forget about it. Oh, okay. Page punchers.
Man,
Oh, but it has the 0-hour comic included, though.
yeah, but no one's gonna read that.
Oh, okay.
So
They
yeah,
look
this
at
is,
these.
I don't know. This is like Joe Dirt Superman.
I don't even know.
I
don't even
don't
know
like
if
this
that's good.
at all. Now, first of all, if you know about toy photography, right, you're gonna get your prototype, your good one. You're gonna make it the best way possible. I looked at the fucking the soft goods on this and the back of it and the stitching, and I'm like, oh, this is the best one they could find to photograph. No, I can't imagine what you would actually get in the package. This is terrible.
I
But that's
want
just
more.
me.
I want more pins in my figure. I want at least 9 more.
I
Bro,
know.
That's the thing that bothers me is like they always go like, oh, we've updated the pin list, and it's like, okay, but you just released this, which has like pins where they didn't exist on any other figure.
$27.99 is wild for this figure. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. $27.99 is shenanigans.
It
No,
is.
thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, everything about it is bad except for the comic book that it comes with.
Yeah, it's in the fishes, and the 0 hours fish food. Forget about it. This isn't as bad.
No, look, the sculpt. I love the face sculpt on this, the body. The only thing that's absolutely terrible is the soft goods. This is like you can see that the factory gave up halfway through making his I don't know. It just looks terrible, except the figure itself looks great.
Yeah, $27.99 again. No way. No how.
No,
I'm not gonna pay that for this. Not gonna happen.
I don't. Yeah, let's go on. This is like
Both are sleeping with the fishes. Let's be honest.
yeah, and then also like Commander Bly is dropping now because Dr. Brindley used it.
I apologize, but you can see where my distress came from. I'm only reacting to what I see with my eyes.
Hey, I will say something. Boss Fight Studios has been releasing a ton of good stuff, and they are doing the Hellboy line. These figures look cool as hell, and if I'm gonna pay some money, it's gonna be stuff that looks like this, and not Joe Dirt Superman with 9 pins in his legs. Great photo here. Again, Boss Fight Studio. I like supporting some of the maybe not lesser known studios. This looks pretty rad. Price a little too high, but it is what it is. That's what you pay
It's
for
worth
action
it
figures.
to pay twice of the trash figure for something that actually looks good and I can display with pride.
Yeah, yeah,
It is
for
true.
sure. Yep. Bly, yes, 100%. The LP, yeah, dude, that Arkham Batman is insane. Like, as there's a review that I saw online of the Deathstroke that they just did in 112 scale. Holy smoke,
For
man.
people
That
who
they
don't
are
know
bringing the
what is,
heat.
for people who don't know what is LPZZ.
It's an action figure company that has released different series. They've recently released a lot of the DC stuff,
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, Deathstroke. It not a ton, not big, but overseas. But this, you got to check it out. Both the Arkham Batman and the Deathstroke. The Arkham, I think one of the Arkham video games, Deathstroke, is nuts. It's crazy. It's good stuff. So you don't necessarily have to buy from the McFarlanes or the Mattels to get some good stuff. There's a lot of more indie makers making some really cool stuff. It's a little pricey, but hey, again, you pay for what you get. Overseas, baby, overseas.
I think that these figures for me are forget about it, but I could totally understand why people would buy these. So I think like these are definitely just for me. It's just like a forget about it, but also like if I was more into this genre, like I would for sure tell you to buy these.
Yep.
The same.
Well, a lot of sleep with the fishes and cinder blocks this episode.
And Mezco should sleep with the fishes, by the way, after that debacle of Red Hood, because here's the deal. I'm going to have to waste $29 to see if I can get that thing at 100, because you will never be able to get it at that price again. And Red Hood is like my jam. So
we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
Yeah. Should have jammed a little earlier, I guess.
I was jamming for 10 hours, Dr. Brentley, and that shit didn't work.
Not good enough. Well, it's their fault that their website didn't work, I suppose. But
well, it's on to the last segment of the evening. Again, thanks for tuning in. The horror filled episode of Pixels Plastic Ink. Again, on the channel SKN, it's going to be a lot of Halloween Scaretober themes, including the upcoming Toy Box Chronicles this coming Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. But it is now time for Plastic with an IQ news.
Plastic news powered by SKN powered by SK News. Anyway, horror popcorn buckets, Black Phone 2. I don't know if you saw Black Phone. It was a pretty good horror movie, but
I did like
First one's good. Yep.
Not gonna go see it in the theater though. But Black Phone 2 collector's combo featuring a popcorn tin, cup, and collectible, the Grabber top from Cinemark.
I'm gonna be honest with you, like I don't know if I would go see this movie per se in the theater, but this Cinemark cup is fire. It's a good cup, and like you could probably argue with it and you'd be wrong, but it's a great cup.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a horror memorabilia collector and you've got a variety of like weird stuff on your shelves, this cup would look cool next to like your Freddy thing or whatever. Like I could see that. Yeah. But just to have that in your cupboard next to the Disney mugs. And,
Commander Bly is a horror collector. He does collect horrors, and this would look good with his horror collection. Yeah,
perfect horror right next to the horror statues.
Yeah,
and horror collectibles.
This one's awesome, but like, how much popcorn you putting in this?
It's a head. You could fit a lot of popcorn in a head. Not that I would know.
Why is he crying?
This is what I'm talking about. Like what Alexander said, I would buy that cup and sit in Starbucks drinking from it. That's what I want to do.
And you'd be kicked out for being a weirdo. What is with the crying blood?
Well, so when Jamie Lee stabs him with a knitting needle in the eyes, he has some blood coming out. And in the second one, he gets shot in the eyes, so he's just swinging away.
All eyes are on him,
They should have had a butter dispenser out of his eyes.
He's got a really nice head of hair.
Okay, can we talk about how rad that would be?
A butter dispenser? You're damn right.
Yeah.
Out of his eyes.
Yeah, better than whatever the hell this is. It looks like the crow.
Alex says, I'm black, man. Of course they kick me out.
What?
Oh.
I guess why does he have a pompadour? Is this like Grease
Because
version
it's
of?
William Shatner. This
Yeah.
is William Shatner on a very bad day.
It's
Is
gonna
what
be a no
Michael
for me,
Myers
dog.
turns out to be.
Yeah, this is definitely like something I'm like, oh look, cool. What's next?
This is the worst.
Yeah. Well, what's
Now
next? So we're done with popcorn buckets, but can you smell like an alien or predator?
We will know because I'm getting ready to actually. I need to finish my review of the Godzilla ones, which were fantastic, by the way. So, short review: the Godzilla soaps were great. So I guess I need to order these.
Can you
Because
just
we're
take?
a
Can you just take
universe
the
of dangerous
predator
prejudice.
when you're in the shower? Can you just take the purge and do like Billy when he's like carving himself in the chest with the soap and just go "Ugh," like that would just be amazing. What do these smell like?
Or
What
do you
does
take them both and like
Yes,
see what the outcome is? What does alien and predator smell like together?
it smells like Jungle Hunt, vanilla, and saffron.
Oh.
I didn't know that predator
Be
would
very
smell like
careful how
that.
you say that.
Are these only on their website?
I don't know.
Well, you will find out, I guess, because you're the one that's going to be getting them.
That's true. Also, Predator Purge. It just seems weird. They should have just called it Predator Juice. And like Alien Awakening. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Sounds like a breakfast meal.
Well, and real quick, first of all, I was kind of disappointed with the end of Alien Earth. Kind of just ended, leaving a bunch of stuff open for the second part, and they haven't even bothered starting with it. So anyway, if you use both, you'll get deported for being an alien predator. That is true.
I look. I just want to smell these. Like, how could I don't.
I don't know that I do, but you
Maybe
go
I'll buy-
ahead.
Maybe I'll buy one for everybody in the group. Send it to your houses.
Do you think if they made a ET soap, it would smell like peanut butter?
Reese's.
Reese's, right? No. Okay. I wonder if they made a Chewbacca, what would it smell like?
Wet dog.
That'd be gross.
That would be amazing. If it smelled like a wet dog, I would buy it.
Speaking of wet dog,
this is the best beer can in the history of beer.
Yes.
By the way.
No,
I mean,
we're gonna spend a lot more
PBR
time on
is
this
like
part.
$1.50, and now you got Godzilla on the can. Where do I find this?
Habs Blue Ribbon this October, just in time for Halloween. These cans are
That's so
amazing. Look at this.
Oh, yes.
And can we talk about how they said they were doing the 25-ounce can?
Mhm.
Alex already ordered 30 cases. Watch, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I
These
mean, the
are-
Mecha
these are
Godzilla
great.
one is so great.
These
No,
are
this-
awesome cans.
It's Day of the Dead meets Halloween meets Godzilla. I love it.
Yeah, all the Godzilla and kaiju collectors are going to be buying these up for sure. But I love that because usually it's with like a bigger beer. PBR is big, but it's it's cheap beer, right? I still drink it.
I mean, Dead Man, here's the thing. I wish we were still hanging out because you and I would go grab case of these until we collected all four, and we'd have to drink them all together. So we'll figure out how to do that, Dead Man.
I guess what you could do is a drinking game where like which of these finally takes you down. Right?
You could tell
like,
Commander Bly is American, so there's that.
Yeah, I love Godzilla. I hate Paps. Jeez, come on, man.
But I'm into your drinking game though. Like which monster takes you out?
Yeah, it's like you pass out from drinking a bunch of Mothras. Like, well, the Mothra beat Jet.
Yeah.
These are great. I love it.
Oh, these are such good cans.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that they said they had to make them 25-ounce cans.
I got to get these. Please, somebody puts their hands on them. Grab a case for me for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. I went down just to be sure. They did not have these yet in my local store.
Okay.
But I would have started. I would have started right now drinking them while we were on there. I'll see if I can do that next time.
Well, I think you would have tapped out to Godzilla. I have a feeling.
We'll see.
I think you would have
We'll
tapped
see.
out when you opened
We'll
the cardboard box.
see.
Well, that is plastic news of the night. Again, we appreciate you all hanging out with us as always. Everyone that was in the chat tonight, Mr. Storm always hanging out when he's not on the show live from his private yacht. Patty, Deadman, hanging out LA Comic Con, man, doing some custom panda bears. Some true customizable heat right there. Bly, obviously, always hanging out. Meeks, AJ, we appreciate you stopping by. C's from Twitch, GZDR, man, thanks for hanging out too. And anybody else that we missed, again, hit the follow. We are every Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be back on the air live this coming Wednesday. Hit all the socials, folks. This is Scaretober. We got a lot more fun in store. More big announcements to come, man. It's going to be great. Dr. Brantley, Chet, what else? What did I miss?
I don't think that you really missed anything. I will say that you might see a little flux in the amount that we're putting out because we are still recapping from LA Comic Con and planning, and some things have shifted focus. We had to shift focus on Good Morning Toy Box, so stay tuned for the update on that. There have been some changes to that. We will get into that a little bit later. But there's a lot of great news coming out, a lot of things coming down the pipe. The Unbox series that we've been coming out, would love feedback on that if you guys like the way that that's working. More of those are coming out. Yeah, and as always too, on Wednesdays, like it's a night of fun times and hanging out with everybody involved. If you had a chance to see us at LA Comic Con, you saw Odd Frog and Deadman Juan with Legions Magazine and Deadly Dioramas. You saw the Potbelly Panda crew that we announced. You got to watch a video with the lore where Shadowe himself was on with Alexander Thunderous Storm, and they were both laying it on heavy and thick. You got to see our one and only comic partners, Advent Comics. Tony, what a fantastic guy Tony is. You probably got to talk to him, which was great. We also had the Odd Frog guys there. You got to see them reveal the Bad Van, so that was fantastic. There was a lot going on. And then one of the guys that you don't really see a lot except for in the chat, but Meeks was there, and Meeks is our convention expert, really handles a lot with the conventions, is actually heading up and working on our very own convention called PixelCon, which more to come on that. And then, of course, Vonner was there. We had, everybody was there. It was fantastic. We enjoyed seeing everybody. And we were going to talk a little bit about the convention. We are going to wait until we get Alexander Thunderous Storm back from his yacht buying experiences. But I will tell you this. If you do work with LA Comic Con or you work at the convention center and you see Freeman on the list, pay attention because they like to rip you off. So you got to watch out for those guys because that's a shit show waiting to happen. But we'll get into that in a little bit. But stay tuned. As Mr. Radcula said, Wednesdays and Fridays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Dr. Brentley, that is my spiel. What is yours?
That's it. We're done.
Okay, there it is.
All
You
right.
had it. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. It was awesome. And I guess this is where Dr. Brentley cuts us off when he just doesn't want the podcast to keep going, which is totally fine with me.